Hola, hola, buenas noches. Estamos en vivo. Check in to see if we are live. Hola, hola. Yes, we are because I'm watching myself. All right, muy buenas noches. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. I don't know where you are watching from. I am Yesenia Betty Boop Alvarez. Thank you so much for joining me. I know I've been away for a few weeks. I don't know when's the last time I uploaded. My bad, y'all. I'll be on it more very soon. I've been very busy, but thank you guys for following me on social media, talking to me. I really enjoy talking to all of you. Hopefully, you guys are enjoying your summer, staying safe, and just having a great time. So, today I wanted to talk about setting boundaries within your small business, and setting boundaries will actually expand your business. So, I'm going to talk about it. We have a lot to talk about today. I'm just getting to my bullet points and we're going to get right into it just because there is a lot to unpack here. So, if you've been watching my channel, you know that I have a background in radio, television, acting, modeling, but behind the scenes, I am a businesswoman. I love being independent. I love being my own boss. I joke around all the time and I say, I don't have a job. Like, y'all, I don't know how I've been surviving for I don't know how many years. I think it's been about 5.5 years just like not having a job, but it's been working. And as an entrepreneur, you just feel like that. You just don't have a job. Every day is different, but it's a beautiful roller coaster ride. You learn a lot about yourself, about other people, about life. It's like how you are internally will reflect in your business, in your day to day life, and all of your habits. So, it's a full 360. So today I wanted to talk about our reflection as a business owner, as the boss, the manager, how that reflects into the clientele that you attract, the clientele that you keep. So it's a really deep topic, but I just feel like it's very important because this is something that I deal with on the day to day. And luckily, over the years, it has become a lot easier. So I'm just going to give you guys my experience. I'm not a business coach. I am just myself. And I'm just going to go based off of my own experiences, what has not worked for me, the mistakes that I've made, how I've corrected them, how I've corrected or adjusted things within myself, and how that has positively impacted my businesses. So, not to get too um detailed, I have boring businesses, y'all. They're boring. Like, boring businesses make money. Okay, you might be the most creative, the most artistic, the most beautiful artist, singer, dancer, anything creative. That's fantastic, but boring businesses make money. So you can have a boring business in the background making you money every single day, putting money in your pocket, so you can have the time and the space and the energy and the creativity and the happiness, the mental space to go do whatever creative thing you want to do. Okay? So that's how I'm coming, right? So I have these things working in the background so that I can come over here and talk to you guys and just be delightful and just be my creative, bubbly self. Okay? How do you get to this point? It takes a while. Okay, for some people, it comes a lot easier, maybe because they had guidance, maybe because their families groomed them in this way. For me, it has come through trial and error, and honestly, I wouldn't have had it any other way. Yes, it has been difficult. Every day comes with its challenges, but every day I'm grateful to be living this life, to be myself, to be blessed, to be able to help people in whatever minute way I can. And at the end of the day, I get paid handsomely, and I put other people to work and I put money in their pockets and I'm able to provide in that way. So it's a very fulfilling way of life, but it takes a while to get here. So today we're going to deal with clientele. Today we're going to talk about dealing with difficult clients. Now, how do I deal with difficult clients? I don't. All right. Point blank, period. I don't. Just in my personal life, I don't deal with anybody I don't like. Okay? If you know me personally, you know, and I've been like this for a long time. I either rub you the wrong way because you rub me the wrong way and I avoid you and you think I'm funny acting and I don't care, or I'm all over you, right? And you think I am the sweetest person ever, you know? So it's one or the other. And that's how I am in my business. I'm either dedicated to providing whatever service it is that you are paying for, or you're not my client, period. And there is no remorse, there is no guilt, there is no negotiation, there's no trying to figure it out, there's no me lowering the prices. No, you're either my client or you're not, period. So the biggest lesson that I learned is that not all money is good money. And that was a hard lesson to learn because I live 100% off of my business. And when you're in the building phase, literally just trying to get one client. And I would like to add that when I started my very first business, I quit my job. I just quit my job. I put in my 2 weeks notice, had my apartment in Chicago. I didn't have any savings. And I just knew in my heart that I just could not work there anymore. And it wasn't even necessarily what I like that job. It was just I didn't want to work anymore. I just didn't. I was just so tired. And I knew that I was capable of so much more. So not all money is good money. Yeah, I was paying my bills, it was paying my rent, whatever, security, safety, that's cool. But I was feeling depleted, right? And I knew that I was capable of so much more. So in that sense, not all money is good money because I just wasn't happy at all. And then now as a business owner, um, even when I was in a so I quit cold turkey, right? Didn't have any money in savings. So whatever client I got, baby, I needed to hold on to that client. Like I needed to make sure this worked because this little job is going to bring me some money that I otherwise wasn't going to get, right? But I started learning that when you are in that mode, when you give off desperate energy, that's when you attract clients that are less desirable. You don't want those clients because they're going to see that you're willing to lower the price, that you're willing to work more, give them more product or whatever, work harder for them because you need the money. Keyword need, right? So I learned very early on not to show vulnerability. I learned very early on to know my worth, and it doesn't matter what I have going on around me. I know who I am, and I know that I can replace one client with another. I know I can replace one job with another if that job didn't work out. I know that if this isn't working out, you know what? I'm going to go work on this, and it might be something completely different than what I was doing. Just because you shift does not mean you changed the end goal. You know what I mean? So, not all money is good money. Um, just because one client is willing to pay a lot of money and you're like, damn, that's a lot of money. That's more than this person is willing to give me. You really have to assess the situation. Is your time, energy, whatever it is that your business provides, the supplies, the labor, the people that you might have working with you, the time, the driving, risking yourself, being on the road if you have to go somewhere far away, everything goes into account, right? Because now it's all on you. I'm not reporting to an office. I'm not reporting to an establishment that provides all of these things for me. Now I'm providing all of this. Now this is coming out of my resources, my pocket, my time, my energy. Is this worth my time? Is this client worth my time? And you'll feel it before you'll say it. You'll feel it right away. If you don't pay close attention to your intuition, this could really go left. So I learned to trust my intuition, trust my discernment, and listen to all of the and pay attention to all of the red flags. Listen to everything the client is saying and not saying. All the cues, right? Because remember, I said that you learn a lot about people. You learn to spot the cheap ass clients right away. You learn to spot the spenders, the ones that are ready to pay. They just want the job done. They just want the service taken care of. Here you go. Here's your money. Here's your tip. Thank you so much. Have a great day. You learn to distinguish, and that takes time. Not all money is good money. If it costs you your peace, if it's stressing you out, if you don't have a good feeling about it, it's not worth it. It's not, because it's not about the money. The money is a byproduct of your effort, your dedication, your professionalism. You, right? Money is a byproduct. My reason for starting my business was for freedom. Freedom. That's it. That's the bottom line. Every single day, it's about my freedom. Freedom to do whatever I want, freedom to be creative about whatever business I want, freedom to wake up at whatever time I want, freedom to work with whoever I want, freedom to decide, right? That sovereignty, baby, there is no price on my freedom and no price on my peace. I don't care who it is. I've turned away business from, whether it's a couple $100 client or $10,000 a month client, because I didn't feel it was the right move for me. Just because someone is throwing 50 grand at me, that might not be the best deal for me for many reasons. And I have to assess it. Does this work for me? I'll tell you one thing. One thing that people like to do, especially if you are in a service-based business, by service, I mean labor, blue collar worker, maybe construction, maybe cleaning, landscaping, things like that. The executives, the people that are creating the contracts, the middlemen, right? And that subcontract to get you, for example, the labor worker, of course they want a big cut. And of course they don't know what it costs to do the work, because they're not doing the work. They're walking around in suits. They're not getting their hands dirty. You are, right? And I say you because most of the people that follow me are Black and brown people. It's the way that they talk. It's their tone. It's the things they say that they don't say. I'm about my freedom, my respect, and my financial empowerment. Not all money is good money. It's hard to explain that any further, but I know that you understand once you go through it. Trust your intuition on that. I've walked away from a lot of money, a lot of opportunities, and people have been mad at me from walking away. Oh, you thought you were just gonna, throw a hook and I was just gonna be reeled in? No. I'm gonna wait for the right opportunity. And there have been many times, y'all, many times where I stopped working with an individual that was my main source of income, and I just stopped. And I didn't have another plan. I didn't have savings. I didn't have another plan. I had rent. I had to live my day-to-day life and spend my money, I had to spend money to live. But I said, fuck that. If I wasn't feeling respected, if I wasn't feeling valued, if I just felt like I was being taken advantage of because I was in a vulnerable position, I quit that shit. I'm going to find another way. I'm not going to allow anyone to talk to me crazy. When I was in the building stage, when I was, still learning and I needed help, right? Just because I was in a vulnerable position does not mean I was going to let somebody take advantage of me. Now, that doesn't mean that they didn't talk crazy to me at that moment. But let me tell you something. I had a plan. And the plan was eventually I was going to get out of that situation. I was going to find my own clients and I wasn't going to need these people anymore. I'm going to tell you a short story. I was working with this one lady, and I think I talked about it a little bit on this YouTube channel. I was working with this one lady, and she was giving me a lot of jobs. She was my age, I think. She was just more established, a lot more disciplined than I was at that time. So I learned a lot from her, and I was very grateful. And to this day, I'm still very grateful. But she talked to me crazy. She talked to me crazy because I was in a vulnerable position at that time. I was still in the building phase. I wasn't that organized. You know, she was obviously making a lot more money than me. I was making mistakes, and she talked to me crazy. Y'all, I am so happy that I kept my cool in that moment, because that's when it flipped. That's when it flipped in my mind. I said, all right, bet. I'm going to make this little money for the next few days, and then I'm just going to stop working with her because I don't allow this. Absolutely not. I'm not going to allow the disrespect, and I'm better than this. So as soon as I stopped working with her, even though I didn't have a plan other than I'm going to figure it out, the next few days I didn't have work. So I thought to myself, all this time that I've been working with her and dealing with her bullshit, I could have been building my own business. All of that energy that I was putting into her business and dealing with her ass, I could have been building my business. So I'm going to take these next 3 days. I'm going to sit my ass down inside this apartment. I'm going to sit at this desk. I'm going to take out my little iPad, and I'm going to market my business the best way that I can with the resources I have now. Be great at Be great where you're at. What resources do you have? At that time, I only had the internet. So I didn't have a budget for ads. So I just sat all day and posted on Facebook, flyers or whatever, reached out to people, whatever I could for no money to get the business out there. I did that. And I started booking more clients. And I was like, bet, hell yeah. Not all money is good money. If it's costing you your peace, no. Number 2, know your worth. Price your services based on value, not emotions. So I want to talk about this. I am on social media a lot. I see a lot of people post promoting their businesses. I really like that app Next Door. And that's where I do a lot of observing. I see what other people, I see what neighbors, clients are posting. Oh, I need some landscaping. I need a pet sitter. I need a cleaning person. I need a mobile detailer. I need somebody to come and paint my house. What is the average rate? I'll pay you. I'm willing to pay $19 an hour. And then I see everybody commenting under that. Whoever's commenting is agreeing to whatever that person is offering. And that's when I see, okay, so these people think that their worth is $19 an hour or whatever. Now, I'm not snubbing my nose at $19 an hour. Absolutely not, baby. In this economy, we all need all the monies that we got. When it comes to knowing your worth, you set that. You tell the client how much you charge based on your individual experience, based on your skills, based on your materials. You might have a product that nobody else has. You might have, I don't know, you might have, like, I have a business card with Home Depot. So I get really good discounts on the best paint. You know what I mean? Like, whatever. You set that price. You don't let somebody else tell you, well, at least this is just the way that I think. You can do whatever you want, but this is just the way that I think. You don't let somebody else tell you, this is what I'm going to pay you. This is what I think you are worth. And then when you say, oh, actually, this is my quote, and they get mad at you, they're mad at you because you told them what you said you're worth. So that's a form of disrespect right in your face. That's not a client I would take. So that's why I don't negotiate and I don't offer discounts. I don't negotiate at all because it's my business. I started it. I know why I started it. I know all the work that we've all put in, myself and my workers, over the years. I know the expertise that we have. I know that I'm the face of it because I deal with the clients one-on-one first. They have my direct sell. I know all the qualifications that I have. I know that I'm legit. So, no. If they want to work with someone that does not provide all of those things, that's fine. But when it comes to me, if you want to work with Yesenia, you got to pay the price. Period. because my team is a reflection of me. My business is a reflection of me. You got to pay the price. So, no, there have been plenty of times when I would give quotes to clients and they would reply, "That's ridiculous. I have never heard of such quotes. I paid my last person this amount." I don't care. I don't care. I used to pay $15 for a haircut. Guess how much I paid the other day? 200. 200. Yes, I pay the price. If that is what I want from that person in that neighborhood that's going to give me that quality of work, I'm paying that price. Period. I'm not going to tell my hairstylist charge me what the other girl charged me 10 years ago. No. Know your worth. I don't negotiate. I turn away business. If you can't meet me at my price, you're not my client, and that is okay. Period. And that's just the way that I feel. Honestly, most of the time, I would say 6 out of the 10 times that I am giving quotes to potential clients, they don't book with us. And that's okay. Because I don't need everybody. Again, not all money is good money. I don't need everybody. I don't want everybody. I only work with VIP clients. That means they pay the price. They know what they want. They know what they're going to receive. Hey, here's the checklist. Here is the guarantee that this service is going to be performed for you. And that's it. No discounts, no refunds, no returns, no exchanges. And that's in the policy. So no, you can't try to dispute it later, because when the company calls us, when the credit card company calls us, we're going to show them the website. We're going to show them in the invoice where it said at the bottom, no discounts, no refunds, no exchanges, no returns, no chargebacks. And you agree to that. And honestly, it's never even gotten to that point. It's never gotten to that point, thankfully. And I don't intend it to ever go that way, because I don't deal with everybody at all. Next point. Sometimes when clients can, or potential clients can become rude or disrespectful when I tell them the price. I don't see why. I don't see why. They might say something like how I said earlier, like, "Oh, I've never paid that price. Your prices are way too high. Can we leave it at this?" No. The price is the price. So they're simply not a good fit. And I'll keep my cool. I've learned to keep my cool. I know that if you've been watching me on social media, if you watch me on YouTube, I got a mouth on me. I'm just gonna, it's not a secret. But I've learned to not take things personal. I don't know these people. Business is business. We're talking about numbers here. Plain as day. It's white, black, terms and conditions. That's it, right? Cut, dry. So when somebody says something like that, I'll just say, "Okay, no problem. I understand that my business is not for everyone. In case it doesn't work out with the other service, feel free to give me a call back." And a lot of the times they do give me a call back. And when they give me the call back, most of the time, guess what? They don't ask for a discount, because they messed up going to another person that charges way less and didn't give them the quality of service that they wanted. So guess what? You still got to come over here with me and spend that dime. You actually paid twice, because you got to pay them. You were not happy. Now you got to pay me my full price. Sometimes my price goes up by the time they come back around. Not my problem. So now let's talk about cheap clients versus quality clients. I'm going to go through the common red flags that I have come across. Common red flags: constantly asking for discounts. The initial conversation tells me everything. That's why in my businesses, they go through the answering service. They say, "Hey, I want to speak to Yesenia." Cool. I answer the phone. I need to speak to them. I need to feel them out. I need to have a conversation, that one-on-one. And based on the questions that they ask, on how based on the questions that they ask, lets me know whether that's our client or not. So if right off the bat they're asking for discounts, oh no, that's too much. I don't have a lot of money. You're not my client. If they have last minute emergencies and they expect you to show up right then and there, that's also a red flag. Now, if it's a brand new client that I have never heard from before and they have an emergency and they expect us to show up in the middle of the day on a Saturday, and I calmly and politely say, no, actually, we need at least 24 hours, 24-hour notice. We can show up tomorrow. Click. Y'all, he hung up on me last week. Somebody called me last week. I don't know him. Just called me out of nowhere. He was like, well, not even if I pay extra. First of all, you offering to pay extra, I was going to charge you extra anyway for an emergency. Like it wasn't a favor you were doing me. So that right there let me know about his personality, sense of entitlement. I don't deal with that either. You have to respect us, because this is another reason why I answer the calls. I need to see who we're dealing with. They have to get through this wall first. The people that work with me, I want them to be happy. I don't want them to be disrespected. I don't want them to be bothered. I want them to be at peace so that they can focus on completing the work. I go through the vetting process with the client. So how they speak to me is a big indication of how they're going to speak to my workers. And I want my workers to be happy. I want them to know that I care about them, because I've been in situations where jobs didn't care about me at all. But when I saw that and I became frustrated at these jobs, I thought, when I have my own business, I'm not going to be like that. So I care about my workers. So the guy said, yeah, I just wanted to know if you guys can come out like right now. I'm like, oh no, sorry, my workers are busy right now. We typically need at least 24 hours in advance, but we can go tomorrow. Not even if I pay extra? No, sorry, I would need 24. Click. Good. I didn't want you anyway. You thought I called him back and tried to work something out? No. No. Not all money is good money. Now, if it's a last minute emergency from a regular client that we've been working with for years, that's different. That, of course, is different, and we have accommodated happily. And typically, those clients are more. It's a give and take. Like, we're able to work something out. They know to be more respectful. It's just a different relationship. So, of course, we're going to do whatever we can for our regular client that has been with us for 3 years. Absolutely. Another red flag, feeling entitled to extra work. I've talked about this on my channel. Sense of entitlement, get out. That has no place here. I do not accept that. Not in business, not in my personal life, not when I'm at a grocery store, not in everyday life. Sense of entitlement, get rid of it. I could smell it on you. I could see it on you. I could see it on your face, your attitude, the way that you walk, the way that you carry yourself. It's not good. You're not going to get anything from that, at least not from me. Feeling entitled to extra work. Just because you're paying doesn't mean that we're going to automatically do extra for you just because we want to keep you as a client. If you want more work, you need to pay more. If somebody works, they get paid. Period. We're not in slavery days. Okay? So again, I don't deal with that type of client that thinks that. Most of my clients now, actually all of my clients now, because like I said, I don't deal with any of them that are rude. They're all so nice and so respectful and so grateful. And for them, if we see something that needs attention, we'll handle it happily, because We care about our clients. We care about the relationship. We want them to be happy. So if it doesn't cost us anything just to do a little bit extra to help them out, absolutely. But they don't ever feel entitled. Our good clients, our clients that we actually have, they're grateful for every little thing that we do. And that's not saying that their expectations are low. That's just saying that that's their personality and that's just who they are. And these are all higher paying clients, well-to-do clients in very nice neighborhoods. I have noticed that entitled clients are the cheap clients, are the ones that are lower income, poverty mindset, always got emergencies, always got a lot going on. No, I'm not dealing with that. And another red flag is complaining before the job even starts. Say you do landscaping, you pull up to the job, you told them 9 o'clock, you show up at 9:15. If they start complaining about you showing up at 9:15 as soon as you hop out the pickup truck, I think that's a red flag. It's like, bro, I'm just here to cut your grass. What the hell? You know what I mean? Stuff like that. If you're performing a job and they're watching you the entire time, peeking through the window or walking around you, that's a red flag. That makes you as the worker feel uncomfortable. Constantly asking a lot of questions while you're trying to work, trying to focus, do your craft. Complaining about random, ugh. No. Red flag. What I've noticed is that higher paying clients usually respect your time, your dedication. They communicate a lot better because they're more educated. They are more considerate. They value transparency. They want to know what they're getting, how much they're going to pay. They value professionalism over the cheapest price. So I want to bring up my example of getting my hair cut. So this is something that's of value to me, right? So I book my haircut a month in advance. I know exactly how much I am supposed to pay, minimum. Then I might want some add-ons. I know the time. I know when I'm getting there. I know that if I miss my appointment, I get a ding at that salon. I'm going to feel embarrassed because I already have that established relationship with my hairstylist. I also feel bad for her because I'm going on a busy Saturday and I'm going to tip her. So I feel bad that she missed out on money, missed out on her time. Someone else could have had that slot. I want to be considerate of her, right? So that makes me a high value client. I value her time, her expertise, what she's going to do for me, how I'm going to feel, my confidence. I did something for me and I'm paying money. I'm proud to pay. Proud to pay. That is a good client. So going through all of this as a business owner has made me a better client, and I value other people's energy. Everything that comes with, especially 1099 workers, for example, whenever I get something delivery, I always make sure that I tip them. They're using their own vehicles, their own insurance, their own gas, their own tolls. They're risking it being on the street just to bring me my food. I value that. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. They saved me time and energy. I didn't feel like cooking today and I just really wanted this. And they went out and they got it for me. Here you go. Thank you so much. I have grown as a client, and it's really nice to have that, to see both sides. So now let's talk about boundaries. Boundaries is a big one. Boundaries create better businesses. So this is something that I've had to learn. I know that I have this gift where I'll be at a grocery store, and well, not so much anymore because I don't really go to the grocery stores that much anymore. But when I did, I used to go to Pete's Fresh Market a lot on Cermak and Rockwell. in Pilsen Little Village area. I used to go there a lot. And it was always by the produce section. Older ladies would just, they would come up to me and they would start talking to me. And they would just look at me, and it happened a few times there. Oh, it's because you te miras muy bonita y te miras como buena gente. Like, you look so nice and you look like a nice person. And people would just come up to me and start talking to me. They would open up. And then one of my elders told me that I have that gift, that people just feel comfortable. They open up to me. They know that their secrets are safe with me. And I provide, simple, practical advice. What's a gift can also be a curse. How has this seeped into my business? Well, remember, I deal with my clientele because they're VIP one-on-one. Because they open up to me, sometimes I feel like that client-friend relationship gets blurred. And I've learned that my clients are not my friends, and my friends are not my clients. So sometimes it's happened before where they'll overshare way too much. It's like, whoa, we're just providing a service here. I'm just your service provider. I'm your service provider first and your friend second. Have to keep that boundary because you just have to. Have to be firm and respectful. When I allowed for that boundary to be crossed and I allowed for the client to talk to me way too much about their personal business, that's when I felt like they latched onto me and they expected more from me as their friend. Again, entitlement. I had to cut that off. So the best way that I was able to do that at that time was to just keep the conversations professional and short. Whenever they started talking to me about their personal business, I would say, "Oh, wow, that's interesting. Oh, yeah, by the way, do you need help with that?" Boom, automatically just change the subject. Boom, right away. I try not to be rude. I just change the subject. Oh, yeah, remember that I talked to you about such and such? Yeah. Okay, well, actually, you know what? This is what happened in my business last week. Oh, really? Wow, that's wonderful. Yeah, well, you know what? If you ever need help with that, we can help. Oh, okay. Change the subject, right? It's up to them now to get it in their head. Like, she doesn't want to talk about this anymore. Let's see. So, yes, there have been times where some of my male clients will try to talk to me in a different way. Personally, when they'll show or when they have shown in the past romantic interest in me, and I just had to tell them, I don't go out with my clients. I have to keep it very professional and respectful. I respect you. Now, in business and in life, when you set a boundary, if that person does not respect your boundary, they don't respect you. And they're not interested in keeping that relationship with you. Luckily, in my case, I think that built a lot more respect. And that business relationship became stronger, became better, better communication. If someone really values you and respects you, they're going to respect your boundaries and they should respect you more. Like, wow, this is a stand-up person. She was firm, she was respectful. I see her for who she is. And luckily for me, that's what happened. So no problems there. In regards to setting boundaries, that's a whole conversation in itself. It's normal to sometimes feel caught off guard, to not know what to say, to not know how to form a sentence, at that very moment that the client might say something that makes you uncomfortable. So what I did is sometimes I would use ChatGPT. Like, how do I say what I really want to say, but in a nicer way? And then it'll give me prompts or examples. And I'm like, okay, I like that. So then I mentally prepared myself. I would repeat that line because I knew that there was a chance that a client, for example, a client that had showed romantic interest in me, the next time that he asks me something like, "Hey, do you want to go out?" I'm gonna say this. Like I repeat things constantly to myself so that I'm prepared. I rehearse the lines, and when the situation happens, I just say it. So that's what I've used. So I've used ChatGPT, or just learn about, setting boundaries, being affirmative, being firm and respectful, short, firm, nice, redirecting the conversation. That in itself is a fundamental skill. That is something that I have had to learn, but it is wonderful. Setting boundaries, knowing what to say at that moment is fantastic. So I highly recommend um, building that skill. All right, let's go to the next point. It is my non negotiables. Like I said, my clients are all VIP, and that means that they all pay the price that I give. They don't tell me how much they're going to pay. I have had clients in the past that are still clients that started with us maybe 2 years ago. They're still with us today. I gave them a quote, and the client told me, "I know your work. I'm going to pay you this." And it was more than what I was asking for. And they still pay it happily, fast, no questions asked. So when it comes to quoting the clients, depending on if it's a product or if it's a service, all the clients pay the same. If it's one package that's offered, then that package has one price. You want it, this is what you got to pay. Everybody the same. I do have some clients that are relatives of mine, and they get treated the exact same as any other client. It's respectful. I give them the exact amount of dedication, professionalism when we're talking um, about the product or the service. I talk to them the exact same way as I would speak to one of my other clients. I give them the exact respect, um, thoroughness, the time, the explanation, whatever they need, they receive that. Um, and they all pay the same market rate. I don't give discounts. I don't know how many times I got to say that. Yo, and I don't ask for discounts from my friends that I get services from. For example, I have another hairstylist because I have hairstylists in different cities. My hairstylist, Yadira, that I've known since I don't know when, 15 years. She has her own hair salon. She used to cut my hair all the time, but now, I switch whenever I go to a different city. Never asked her for a discount. Absolutely not. Like, I would feel so ashamed of myself if I ever in my life catch myself asking her for a discount. Absolutely not. No. So no special pricing. The terms and the expectations are communicated up front. So on that phone call, when they ask questions, I tell them exactly what to expect. I'll say, okay, well, you know what? Can I text you? Yes. Okay, great. So I'm gonna text you the checklist. I'm going to text you all the information that comes with it. I'm also going to email it to you if email is better, so that way they have two forms of communication. I'm going to send it to you through text because people read their text faster. I'm going to send it to you through email, so that way it's an official, business email. And then email goes a long way when it comes to like business negotiation proof. Um, all the terms and the expectations are communicated up front. I keep it short, concise, to the point. This is what it is. That really prevents misunderstandings. Now, we're all the same, right? We don't all read the fine print. So I make it as clear as day and I'm repetitive. So the same information that I send them through text, I'll send it to them through email, and it'll be on the invoice, it'll be on the payment link that I send through Stripe. So it'll be on the website, it'll be on the social media pages. I keep it simple, to the point. This is what you're getting, and these are the rules. Plain and simple. And I'm the same way with my workers too. I'm the same way. These are the expectations. This is what the client is looking for. This is what I expect from you. Thank you. This is how we're all going to get paid. This is how we're going to get paid. And this is how the client is going to receive their service. Next point. Turning down business is sometimes good business. So that whole talking back and forth, messaging, it's a waste of time. I would rather turn down a client that is just trying to haggle the price, is just shopping around for the lowest price, because that's taking time away. With that time, I could be working on a flyer, I could be talking to another client, I could be thinking about another idea. Instead, I'm over here arguing with this client. Like, that's not even a client yet. They're just trying to haggle the price. No, no. And there have been times where I have had to fire clients because, like I said, not all money is good money, because difficult clients cost more. I had a client that would hire us 3 times a week. So that was 3 times a week times 4 weeks out of the month. That's someone's mortgage payment that we were receiving. Yeah. That's someone's mortgage, that's someone's rent. And again, it came with crossing boundaries, not respecting our boundaries, entitlement, complaining, not being considerate. So I just had to fire her. I had to fire her as a client. Y'all. So let me tell you this. So she would hire us for about 3 days out the week, right? 4 weeks out of the month. That's 12 times per month. And she would pay. No problem. Sometimes she would take like a day to pay. But she would pay. Y'all, for months, for a few months, maybe 3 to 4 months. After all that time. So she kept calling us back, right? I don't think we ever got a compliment. We never got a good review on Google or anything like that during that entire time that we were working together. But as soon as I cut that business, that work relationship, as soon as we stopped going, as soon as I said, sorry, this isn't going to work anymore, tell me why she left a bad review. Y'all, we were we were giving her the service for fucking 4 months. 3 times a week. 4 weeks out of the month. For like 3 to 4 months. Never said a word. It's only when she didn't get what she wanted that she came and she left us a bad review on Thumbtack. Y'all, you know how hard it is to be on Thumbtack? You got to get, I think you got to pay for the background check. You got to build the profile. You got to compete with other people. Not to mention you got to pay big money just so a client can message you. And you're still going up against a lot of other pros that the client message, because they message about 4 or 5 pros at one time, so only one person is going to get hired, and you lost your money and they ain't cheap. I went through all that, and just when she did not get her way, she left us a bad review. And luckily for me, she left a bad review. She's like, communication has been terrible. We've been trying to book, but I have not gotten a response. And I had to talk to Thumbtack and let them know that this was a safety issue at that point. I said, we ended this business relationship. I have the text message to show that this client was not being respectful or considerate of our time. There were some things that she was doing, for example, a booking time. And I said, hey, you know what? We don't work after this time. So it would be best if we work during this time window. Oh, no, that doesn't work for me. I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't work for us. She's like, okay, well, I guess this is not a good fit then. This is not going to work. I'm like, no, you're right. It's not going to work. Like she was trying to bluff, like, oh, this isn't going to work. You know, I think she probably thought that, oh, if she were to say, oh, this isn't going to work unless you come at the time that I say, that I was going to be like, okay, fine. No, 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 absolutely not. So could not go back over there because she didn't respect our booking time. She didn't respect the fact that we needed more advance notice. Um, Even though we would work with her 3 times a week. It was not on set days. And sometimes she would ask for same day. And I'm like, hey, we're getting busy. We need to plan. You need to be considerate. And she's like, okay, I'll let you know. Bitch, that's not what I said. I said, let us know ahead of time. Oh, well, I won't know tomorrow. I won't know right now for tomorrow. I'll let you know tomorrow for tomorrow. Bitch, no. She was not considerate of our time, so that obviously showed disrespect. In consideration, she doesn't care. She just wanted things done her way. And no, I wasn't going to work like that. And I wasn't going to let my people work like that. But just when she did not get her way, when you set a boundary and they don't respect it, they don't respect you. So hell no. So what, she thought that just because she left me a bad review on Thumbtack, that I was going to be like, okay, yes, that's fine. We'll resume services. Hell no. Hell no. I reported her to Thumbtack for harassment. Y'all, I had to block her from my phone because after I let her know we won't be able to work with you anymore, she kept texting, kept calling, kept texting, kept calling. And I said no. I had to block her from my phone, y'all. And then that's when she goes and leaves a bad review. So that lets me, and time had passed, a couple months had passed. So that lets me know that she had not been able to hire somebody else to deal with her antics. So hell no, I'm not going back over there. Absolutely not. I had to report her to Thumbtack as a safety issue because she kept harassing me. Sense of entitlement, you know, absolutely not. So the way that I answered that the way that I replied to her um, review was saying, as previously mentioned in text message conversations that you and I have had, we are simply not a good fit, and that is final. I really wanted to go off on her, y'all. Woo, I wanted to go off. You know how hard it is to build your rating on Thumbtack? It's hard, y'all, especially when you got to pay so much money just for this bitch to go and leave me a bad review. I don't play about reviews, y'all. I have 5-star reviews on Google, y'all. So now I gotta go rebuild that because they're not gonna delete the review. But I let um Thumbtack know that she was basically, what is that called? Retaliation. This bitch retaliated against me. Whatever. So I would rather lose a difficult client than lose my peace. Absolutely. Protecting your reputation is more valuable than accepting every job. So at that moment, the way that I responded publicly on Thumbtack was much more professional than me cussing her out via text and calling her and telling her what I really felt like saying. My reputation, being professional, just saying that's final. I don't want to work with you. Bitch, it's you. Next point. Trial and error. It took experience to find my niche. This is what I want to talk about. So, when I first started one of my businesses, well, actually, a couple of the businesses, yeah, I was just like, hey, I need to make some money. Who needs these services? Who needs this? Who needs that product? Who needs this? Right? You just cast your big net out, and that's understandable. But as I went through all of these experiences and I learned um, about the different types of clients, learned about spotting a good paying client that's not going to give me any problems, that's when I was like, okay, I need to hyper focus. I'm really good at hyper focusing. Listen, we all cannot be good at everything, but we all can be good at something. And when I found out that I am really good at hyper focusing, and if I want that, I am just not going to look at anything else. I'm going to focus on that. I can get it. So I sat down and then I started saying, okay, ¿dónde me ha ido bien? What has gone well for me? And I found out that the best clients is this type of client. This type of VIP client lives in these types of neighborhoods. They drive these types of cars. They act like this, and they all typically need the same sort of service. So that's when I said, I'm just going to keep it right here. It's the easiest. It pays the most. Our business is valued. We get referrals. We get references. Absolutely, this is what it is. So decide on what your niche is. Of course, it depends on the type of service or product that you provide. It depends geographically where you're at, what neighborhoods you want to serve. Do you serve Chicago or do you work in the suburbs? Which suburbs? Do you serve Naperville? Do you serve Evanston? Do you serve the South Side? What type of client is it? Are they the product or service? Is it um, is it low ticket or is it high ticket, right? So it takes time. But once you get your niche, just stay focused on that. Stay focused on that. For example, I see a lot of landscaping in the neighborhoods that I go to. So obviously, these landscaping guys are gonna go and they're gonna go to the really nice, expensive neighborhoods. Most of the time, where they're elderly people that obviously can't mow their own lawns, but they have beautiful homes and they need it upkept. I'm like, okay, that's the niche. Higher income areas with disposable income. They want their homes to have beautiful curb appeal. Older people, they want it on schedule, right? So figure out what your niche is, stick to that, and make it's an art. So once you find out what your niche is, y'all, from the colors of your brand, from the logo, from the tagline, the way that you create your marketing flyers is for that client. For example, there's a difference between, okay, there's a difference between oh, if you remember Big Lots, I know they closed them, but Big Lots and Pier 1 Imports. Pier 1 Imports was expensive, all right? We used to only go in there just to look around. I don't think my mom ever bought anything from there. But it was really nice to look at. And I remember the lady always following us around in the store. So, just the way that it looked, the way that it was set up, the vibe was completely different. Pier 1 Imports or Big Lots. You know what I mean? Just really immerse yourself. I've learned a lot about logo psychology, color psychology, the tagline. I completely changed the brand vibe to a couple of the businesses because when I decided on the niche, I said we're only focused on that. The aesthetic. The aesthetic. So a trick to that is, for example, take your flyer and then say you post your flyer, you put it up into you upload it into ChatGPT or Claude or whatever, and you say, "Hey Chat, this is my flyer. Optimize it to be marketed to my niche clientele base of retirees in a 55 plus um, upper middle class community." Boom. So let's say you're a landscaping business. Then ChatGPT will give you, it'll audit your flyer, your logo, your colors, your tagline, the font. It'll tell you what's good about it and what you can fix. Go based off of that. Make all those little tweaks. You could even tell Chat, hey, tweak it, show me an example. It'll tweak it for you. It'll show you a brand new business card or a brand new flyer, and now you can see it. Just see the vision. Look at the logos. For example, Chime in comparison to Charles Schwab. Feel me? Let me see. Okay. Final takeaway. Build a business that attracts the clients you actually want. I don't want everybody. Not everybody could work with me. Sorry. Consistency, ethics, professionalism, and quality will always outlast chasing every dollar, y'all. When I was chasing every dollar, when I was first starting my business, I was just trying to survive. I was just trying to make money every day because remember, I didn't have a job, I didn't have savings. I was just like, whatever, I'm just going to go out on this whim. I'm just going to start my business, start making money. So, of course, I was chasing every dollar. I was working harder. I wasn't getting that many tips. And I was rewarded with more work at that same low rate. Feel me? Now, y'all, I get gifts, I get referrals to more high quality clients. I don't really have to market that much anymore. Clients come to me. I get returning clients from way back when. They see us post on social media, they post it to their people, they rant and rave all the time. We get really great tips, generous tips, beautiful compliments, the way that they respect us, that they treat us, talk about us, show us how much they value us. That means so much more than chasing every dollar because the money's coming, right? So think about that. Remember, the right clients don't just pay your invoices, they respect your business. Yes, yes, they do. They value you just like how you can think of right now a business, a service, a product that you value, you respect, and you are proud to pay the price. And you tell them, thank you so much. See you next time. I appreciate you guys. All right, y'all. So that's all from me. Before I go, I would like to thank our sponsor, aka me. So thank you guys so much to everyone that has been buying this book, y'all. I see the reports. I see the money coming into my account. Appreciate y'all. I have a few journals that I created. This is my best-selling journal on Amazon. It is the Self-Love Journal. And as you could see here, it's got the sunflowers. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's a self-love journal. You can write in it. It has 120 affirmations. I opened it up to a page, so I'm going to read a few pages right now for you. Let me see. Self-worth. I am just as worthy as anyone else. I am surrounded by people I love, and they love me back. I am a good person, and I don't need to prove it to anyone. I am enough, and I don't need to change. O sea, si no les gusta como soy, cambien ustedes. I am intelligent and fun, and people like talking to me. I contribute beautiful things to this world, even if they are small. I strive to do my best every day, and that's enough. My opinion is important, and people genuinely care about it. I am one of a kind, and no one can replace me. I deserve to prioritize myself over anyone else. I don't feel ashamed about my unique traits. So this is the self-love journal. I have the link in the description. You can support this channel by buying the book for yourself, for your mom, for your auntie. So I would say this is for age ranges 8 and up, for your sister, cousin. It's beautiful and it's nice because it's small enough to fit in a purse, in a backpack. It's a nice companion every day. You can write in it, and I really love it. It's beautiful. So thank you guys so much for supporting me, supporting my channel. I hope you guys liked this video and have a great one.